We are about to open an original box of Lowyn, a booster box I never opened. Now I know what you're thinking, CGB. This box is already opened. Why? That's BS. You'll see it sealed when we're about to start the video. When we cut to the other shot, I botched the intro because I didn't have my sound on, so I had to record the intro again. So it's this box, and I've already opened it. But what you're about to see is me opening it for the first time. You're gonna see the plastic on it. I'm not a sham. I'm not a charlatan. Don't cancel me. Okay, let's get it. Let's do it. So, Lowyn, original Lowyn. What was 18 years ago, guys? Oh my, nervous. I'm actually nervous because it's old, even though I got this box for 1800. Libby, if you want to track prices, you can. I'm probably gonna lose like over $1,000 on this box. I know that the value of the cards in the box just aren't that high. It's the way it is. Set 1 of 2 in the Lowyn block. Look at this. They just don't make them like this, so I have to look at them the old way, right? This display box contains 36 booster packs of 15 randomly inserted game cards. No rule book. You gotta get a starter deck to learn the rules. Look at that, baby. They had theme decks back then. Now they're back. That's exciting. Excellent. 18 years ago would be, God, math, 2008? Is that right? 18 years. It is. I think, what set was right before Lowyn? I really want to know because I want to do my story time right. You know, it probably says the date right here on the product somewhere, doesn't it? That's stupid of me. There's still a P.O. box. Should I write to it? Designed by Richard Garfield. 2007. I was close. I almost mathed. 2007. What was happening to me at 2007? The sets before this: 10th edition, Future Sight, Planar Chaos, Time Spiral, Cold Snap. I did play Cold Snap. I'm trying to remember what store I bought Cold Snap in. I was living in Indianapolis. I was working for Your Entertainment, FYE, at a mall selling CDs and such. And I attended, Guild Pact. I played 9th edition. I played the Kamigawa set. I played Guild Pact. And then Dissension, the original Ravnica block. I played Cold Snap, and then I quit for a while. I really didn't get Time Spiral. I didn't know what was going on with it, and I wasn't around for Lowyn. So I missed this period of time in here, all the way up through Zendikar and World Wake, and I came back for Innistrad, and that was in 2011. So that was pretty, like a 4-year break for young CGB from Magic. One of the probably 3 or 4 times I drifted away from the game for a period of time. So just never Lowyned before today. So let's get to it. Let me know also, you like the nostalgia trip of buying the old box, opening the old cards right before the hot new cards. Get the cards first and get an exclusive promo card. Yeah, that's pretty hype. So much has changed. We got a Merfolk Wizard token from Lowyn. It's pretty beautiful. Got Mark Poole to do the tokens. That's kind of awesome. Overnights. Whirlpool Realm. I do know a lot of the cards. I've seen them over the years. But the Evoke Elementals, of course, are very, very strong. I remember that Elvish Branch Bender in an elf deck on Magic Duels making my life miserable. And then Marrow Harbinger, a tutor for Merfolk, popular for Commander. We got Tar Pitcher, Briarhorn, and our first rare is, oh, remember this guy. Remember this dude. Were these the original Planeswalkers? Is this the first time they printed Planeswalkers? Would have been a good time for Garrick to return. I think, honestly, it's coming back to me. That was something about Lowyn that got me. I didn't know what Planeswalkers were, and I didn't want to learn. In fact, the first time I ever learned what a Planeswalker did years later, I actually was reading it in a PTQ and I came back 4 years later and people were looking at me like I was stupid because they were like, huh? And I was calling the judge to ask questions about how you kill it. Anyway, Garrick Wildspeaker, that's a fitting open for pack number 1. And let's pick up the tempo because I'm sure some people are like, more rares, more pulls. Look, this is a yap fest. You're gonna get my yap. Fertile Ground, I think at that point already a reprint, but a good one. Then we got the commons, we got a good number of evoke elementals, we got fairies, we got all that. We got a Shimmering Grotto, and then Vivid Grove, the Vivid Lands. When Thundercloud Shaman comes into play, it deals damage equal to the number of giants you control each non-giant creature. That seems like a commander card. Benthicor Elemental, when it comes into play, 2/1/1 blue Merfolk Wizard tokens. Tap 2 Merfolk, untap this, it gains Shroud. It's a card. Like Cloud Goat Ranger, right? And our rare here, Brigaded Hero of Kinsbale, 2 white 2/3 first strike, 2 damage. It's an archer. It's a legend. Man, they don't make them like that anymore, do they? No, every legend has to be pushed to the moon. This would be a common today. That's power creep in action. Got the Tree Folk. I believe Tree Folk were a deck during this time. They had a little meta impact. This one gains life for elves and graveyards. Any notables? Summon the School makes more merfolk. You can get this back to your hand. It's a tribal sorcery, which was the theme in the set. It's back. There's the Elvish Harbinger. That's got to be a commander card. The Fairy Harbinger. You guessed it. There's some of these for all the types. And we got an original Windbrisk Heights, the Hideaway Lands from back in the day, which was something I wanted. I wanted some of the Hideaway Lands in the Lorwyn printings because I've got a lot of them in the commander deck printings. But there's something about the old frame, isn't there? Let's get into this one. We got, oh, banger. Mole Drifter. What if draw 2 were on a body? Wouldn't that be cool? Oh my gosh. I love to see it. Love good old Molly. So Changeling Berserker, letting you champion creatures and be of types, can be very strong. Also very good with like some commanders like Muxus. Cairn Wanderer. This is 5 mana for a 4/4 changeling. As long as a creature with flying is in the graveyard, it gets that ability. Same is true for Fear and a bunch of other abilities. What is that reminiscent of? Isn't there a specific legendary commander that's really good at doing this? Soul Flare is the card I think of the most. All right, what we got? Where's the goods? Harpoon Sniper. Oh, Brian Stoutarm. Somebody call the prof. He loves this card. That's a 4/4 with lifelink, and for red, sack a creature other than this and does damage equal to the creature's power to target player. It's like a classic commander. I've seen a few of its decks around. Yeah, good old Bryon has a place in a lot of players' hearts. And there's, I believe, like daughter or granddaughter or something in the new Lorwyn set. That'll be revealed by the time this comes out, right? Hope so. Don't want to get in trouble. Area Harbinger, Cloud Thrasher. Whoa. And what? Whoa, we got a foil. It's a common foil, but the foils back then, you didn't have them in every freaking pack, did ya? And it's kind of a subtler foiling, but I like it. I like it a lot. Cloud Thresher is 2 green, 7/7 flash reach. When it comes into play, 2 damage to each creature with flying and each player, and you can evoke it. It's kind of sick. It's kind of sick. I love that as flash. That's a nice elemental. Maybe we should play that a little more sometimes, as flyers are a pain in the neck, especially in Commander. A little. What we got? Smoke Braider. Mana for elementals is going to be pretty darn useful with all the elemental reprints. Crib Swap, Vivid Craig, Guardian of Clovendale. Sack a Kithkin to gain life, I guess. Ooh, The incarnations are in here, the original incarnations. This is a 6 mana for a 6/6 fear. When a creature deals damage to you, destroy it. When dread is put in the graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it back into the library. Didn't want you reanimating that. Oh yeah, I saw these in Magic Duels, so I'm familiar with Vigor and Dread. And what are the other ones? Maybe we'll get a little reminder as we go through the set. This is prior to M15, I think. Yeah, M10. So I don't think we have mythics at this stage. Planeswalkers are new. Mythics are fresh. We got the Flamekin Harbinger. Okay. Little tutor for elementals is nice. And then Doran. I remember I have definitely been hearing that Doran here was a real standard card. That Tree Folk was a deck in standard. I guess 3 mana for a 5/5, just as vanilla, did the job then. Then we've got the foil Lorwyn Island. Beautiful. Again, it's a more subtle foiling. My camera barely picks it up compared to the other set I'm collecting right now, which is an exciting one for you guys. It's Urza's Legacy, right? What's the second one? Urza's Saga, Urza's Destiny, and Urza's Legacy. Yeah, Legacy is the first set to have foils, so I'm trying to get my hands on those. They are expensive and they are intense. Like, they slap you in the face with how foil they are. Maybe Libby could put a picture of an Urza's Gaia's Cradle was a set before. What's a good Urza's foil? Treachery or Palancron. Like, those are some good Urza Saga foils. Fairy Harbinger again. We got Knight of the Meadowgrain, which just as a 2/2 first strike lifelink got played in my duels decks a lot. Wanderwine Hub. This was how you did dual lands back in the day. This, you reveal a Merfolk and you get a blue-white untapped dually. All right, I want as many of these foils as I can get. It would be nice to have a foil set of Lorwyn someday, of every set that had foils, of course. And I've got time, I think, I hope. That might not age well. Lignify is a card I use in Commander often. Just shut those freaking commanders down. I don't use it on camera as much, but I use it a lot in off camera when I can. And we've got Malicious Pride. 1 and a white. Whenever a non-token creature you control attacks, you may pay a white. If you do, make a 1/1 white soldier attacking. That's tribal enchantment. Yeah, nowadays you wouldn't have to pay the white for that, would you? That seems like a pretty power crept rare. You would just get one. I don't know, is that too pushed for 2 mana? Maybe it is. It's definitely would be like printed at 3 mana. Maybe that card needs some play. We got the Cloud Goat Ranger, which was a heck of a card in its day. Makeshift Mannequin, and our rare is Death Render. 4 mana, equip creature +2/+2. When equip creature goes to graveyard, you may put equip creature to hand in it from your hand. Oh, you may put a creature card from your hand into play and attach Death Render to it. That's kind of sick. It's like you can sneak attack a creature. It is really expensive, but as far as an equipment goes, it's kind of a cool one. It does keep leaning into the equipment problem, right? Which is you have to have equipment and you have to have creatures. Sometimes you only draw one or the other. 0 mana artifacts are always notable. Sack this to regenerate target creature. Could be worse. You know, Tarfire, good in your goblin deck for being a goblin. Ponder, the original. Oh, baby. Going back. Was it the original or was there a Ponder before that? I don't think there was. What do we got here? Incandescent Soul Stoke. 2 in a red. Elementals get a buff. It's a lord. You may put an elemental from hand into play against haste, sack it. So like evoking elementals through the Soul Stoke. Probably goes in the elemental precon. The 5-color elemental deck that is taking the world by storm because it's a freaking menace. Flamekin, Oblivion Ring. Was this the first Oblivion Ring? It might have been. Spellstar Sprite, menace, a menace, I tell you. I haven't seen too many of the fairies yet that kind of took off. And then Party Jace, the first Jace, +2, each player draws a card. The only planeswalker in Commander people don't tend to kill right away. -1, target player draws a card. -10, something about top 20 mil, no big deal. And then we've got a foil of Broken Ambitions, which is a counter spell that clashes kinda. So there you go. Jace is here. I wonder what made the planeswalkers first appear in Lorwyn. I guess you had to do it somewhere, but why do they have an origin in Lorwyn? Did the lore have them just popping in Gatewatch style all at once? It seems like there should be a story behind that story. Let me know in the comments if there is, that you just happen to know, Vorthos. We got Sheldock Isle. All right, that's a rare. One of the worst hideaway lands, though, for Commander. And I saw the foil B, and I was like, is it Bitter Blossom? No, it's Bogart Harbinger, but that's still a pretty good one because that's a tutor for goblins. It happens to be in black, so it doesn't see as much play as other goblin tutors, but it does get used anytime you can get goblins with a wider color identity than mono red. The original Springleaf Drum here in Lorwyn. Imperia's Perfect, first printing here in Lorwyn. Goat Napper, a very funny one, just comes into play and untap target goat and gain control of it. Sure, why not? Wanderwine Prophets, this is a champion or merfolk, super expensive here, and whenever this deals combat damage to a player, you may sack a merfolk. If you do, take an extra turn. That still sees some commander play. And we got a foil of Brian Stout Arm. Call Prof, everybody. I know what to hand him next time I see him. I'm sure he already has one. Just always makes me think of him, since he told me it was his favorite commander. Let's go. Stalwart, I remember playing this on duels. Squeaking Pie Sneak, what the heck? Oh, it's a 2/2 goblin for 2 fear. Okay, sure. And then we get Guiltleaf Palace, so that is our dually for elves in green and black. So good old Typal set, Kindred set, and running the tribal enchantments for the first time, so really leaning into that. Were there other sets that leaned into creature types this much before Lorwyn? I kind of need a reminder. Pestermite was part of Splinter Twin combo back in the day, so therefore a multi-format all-star. Tree Folk Harbinger, this is the Tree Folk tutor that goes and gets your Doran or a Forest, and this was good because it attacked as a 3/3 once you dropped your Doran, which in its time was good. That's true. And then a Magic Duels card I loved, Masked Admirers, a value engine in and of itself. When it enters, draw a card. Then you, for the low price of 4 mana for a 3/2, a Bloodbraid Elf of its time. And whenever you play a creature spell, you can pay 2. You have the pleasure of paying 2 to return this to your hand. So for 6 more mana, you can have another 3/2 and draw a card. In Magic Duels, they sure limited card draw. They must have thought it was old Yu-Gi-Oh or something. And that was my value engine. We got another Pestermite first pack. What we got here? The Mad Auntie, a Goblin Lord in black, and it also taps to regenerate a goblin. Plenty of regeneration back in the day. In fact, they stapled it on Lords pretty often. I think Azuri was a elf lord that had that and more. There's the Harbinger, a Reurgy, which is a good merfolk lord that taps or untaps target permanent. Combine that with like a Gaia's Cradle, you can do some crazy things. Epic Proportions, +5/+5 trample enchantment with flash. Probably the first printing of Epic Proportions. Add that to the list of things that have been power crept in 2026, as we now have preposterous proportions and things of that nature available. House of the Fair was an elf enchantment that still sees a little play here and there. Ooh, but man, talk about one of the bangers. We got that sweet foil planes, but one of the bangers, Thoughtseize. Yeah, that is a Lorwyn original for sure. Multi-format megastar that people still love today. Nice to see a classic Thoughtseize. I didn't play the set, but just from like the cards I see over the years that pop up here and there across Commander, and also the way people talk about the old standards and you check out old deck lists, it does seem like there was enough playables in Lorwyn to keep people happy. When this comes into play, choose odd or even. Each creature with converted mana cost of the chosen value has haste. Each creature with the mana value comes into play tapped. Whoa! Ashling's a bit of a crazy, isn't they? What? That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. You could build an all 1s and 3s and give them haste, I guess, in your red deck, and then your only 2 is Ashling's Prerogative, and you just have enough 1s so that when you don't draw the Prerogative, you go 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop. Surely it got tested. That card seems like it'd be pretty solid. But what do I know about Magic the Gathering in the Age of Lorwyn? I didn't play Standard. Fallow Sage, Changeling Hero. Oh, there's the red incarnation, Hostility. This is the one where if a source would deal damage, you prevent it, but instead you make a bunch of 3/1s for each damage. Yep. You turn every point of damage into 3/1s with haste. And that damage isn't prevented. Those actually deal damage. This is like if a spell would deal damage. That's right. So your burn spells become 3/1 machines. Kind of a nutty card. Pretty weird. Wonder what that would be if they reprinted that today. There's the Shriek Maw. Then we get a Thought Weft Trio. And this is 4 mana for a 5/5 first strike vigilance that champions a Kithkin, and it can block any number of creatures. Yeah, okay. The things we did for a 4 mana 5/5 back in the day. And then we do have a foil. It's a common. It is the Axe Grinder Giant. Vanilla Crawworm in red, but with the giant type. Super relevant, man. That's how we did it back in the day with commons. Vanilla, slap a type on it. It's a Colossal Dreadmaw, but worse. The Twig, this was probably the mana fixing of its day. Let's go get you a basic. And what we got, what we got, what we got. At the end of your turn, untap all merfolk. I mean, I don't know, is that a thing? That could be a thing. The Hoofprints of the Stag is a reprint out of Lorwyn. That's in the commander deck. Tribal enchantment for elemental that when you draw a card, you can start making 4/4s. I don't think that's particularly good. That seems very slow to me in current Magic. It really does. Crack this. See what we got here. Plenty of Pester and Mites for my Splinter Twin Modern deck. I'll go Ranger. We got a Dauntless Dowerbark. 4 mana for a star, power and toughness equal number of 4s plus the number of tree folk, and trample if you have a tree folk. Bang. And we got Favor the Mighty. It's a rare. It is. Each creature with the highest converted mana cost has protection from all colors. Interesting tribal enchantment giant. I wonder if this gets played ever in Commander. Seems like it wouldn't be bad. It has to have the highest converted mana cost. So I guess you just need a really expensive commander you want to protect. But hey, I have a foil rare out of Lorwyn. I'm doing fine. There's probably only one foil rare a pack. So those of you watching to see if I pop a foil Thoughtseize or Bitter Blossom. Is Bitter Blossom in this set or the next one? I guess we'll find out. We got the Perfect. There we got Wart. The Auntie. 3 to be fair at the beginning of your upkeep, return a goblin from graveyard to hand. Classic Lorwyn legendary. And what next? What next? Horde of Notions. Ben will be thrilled. The ultimate elemental commander for the longest time until the latest Ashling showed up. Ben still has a Horde of Notions deck. He's not sure if he's going to change it. But him and his frickin' Bane of Progress. Mully is back. Drum Ponder is back. Sower of Temptation. This is how you would yoink an opposing creature with a fairy. Comes into play, gain control of target creature. Still a pretty good commander card. If you have any fairy or clone synergies, you might consider a Sower of Temptation. Aether Snipe, Tar Fire. We got the Shape Sharer, I bet it's a cloney effect, maybe? Nope, Changeling. 2 blue, 1/1 Changeling. Target shapeshifter becomes a copy of target creature until your next turn. Okay, it is also a clone. Obviously a lot worse because it doesn't enter as a copy of a thing, so it doesn't give you ETB copies or ETB trigger duplications. Then going through this one, what do we got? Orders Greed. Lose 2 life, draw 2, clash if you lose, repeat. There's a reprint with new art in one of the decks. I didn't know that was a reprint. Surge Spanner is 4 mana for a 2/2. When it becomes tapped, you may pay 1 in blue to return target permanent to owner's hand. So that was, I guess that has to be a rare for limited. That can be a little oppressive. I remember Tradewind Rider. Do you guys remember Tradewind Rider? It's one of the cards I still need for my set of Tempest, which has been a little hard to wrangle, but I get all my cards through CoolStuffInc.com. You just gotta wait. If one of you wants to help me sell a Tradewind Rider to CoolStuffInc.com. Liliana Vess. The original Liliana Vess. Well, we get all of the original Lorwyn 5 in this box. We're up to 3 here. We have Jace, we have Garrick, and now we have Liliana. And then we have a foil Nath's Elite. All creatures able to block this have to do so for a 5 mana 4/2. When it comes into play, clash. If you win, put a counter on it. Man, they don't make them limited cards like they used to. People say I should try limited now because it's so powerful all the time. All the cards are good. I'm like, it's still limited, but we'll see. I still have to play with a lot of basic lands. The Kithkin Harbinger, the Changeling Titan, and there's the Mossport Bridge, probably the most powerful hideaway land and the one I use the most often. It goes in most green decks in Commander on its own. You should probably look at hideaway lands as just like a tap land that draws a card, which has never been printed because it would be busted. As long as you can meet the requirement at some point in the game on a regular basis. And green decks, well, they make that requirement for the Mossport Bridge pretty easy. You just got big creatures and you're good. Eyes of the Wizened. What are you? A tribal enchantment elemental, 1 and a green. Whenever an opponent plays a blue spell during your turn, put a 4/4 onto the field. Propaganda. Garbage. Trash. Terrible. Hate it. Makeshift Mannequin in foil as the uncommon here. A Zombify, basically. But if the thing becomes targeted, you have to sacrifice it. Doesn't matter with Ward. Makeshift Mannequin with a Valgavoth would be doing just fine. It's also an instant. Isn't that kind of crazy? Maybe I should be playing Makeshift Mannequin in Commander. Instant speed is really big on a Zombify. Let's go with Nova Chaser. Pretty. 3 and a red for a 10/2 Elemental Warrior with Trample. When it enters, you have to champion an Elemental. 10/2? Pretty good with a Warstorm Surge or a Terror of the Peaks. And we got our foil Forest. Again, the foiling is much more subtle, but I prefer that to a curling foil, don't you? Down to the last 2 packs, so this one has to have one of the 2 Planeswalkers if we're going to get a full set out of Lorwyn, of the Lorwyn 5 Planeswalkers. And we got the Marrow Redrade, another Death Render, so that is our second Death Render. And we get a Morn Welk, which is a very expensive 3/3 that makes them discard 2 cards but has Evoke. I guess for limited, you gotta have it. Did you notice on the box here they got the mana symbols? Look at that. Don't think they do that anymore. Oh, one of the things we've lost over the years. Just the little touches of MTG branding. And last time, the Forge Tender I remember being a good card. Protection from red that you can sack to basically counter a red source. And then we get, to finish our box, we get Sig River Guide, 2/2 Island Walk, classic blue-white commander from back in the day. That gives a merfolk protection from a color of my choice until end of turn. And that's gonna do it. That is gonna be the Lowyn box. It was really fun. I'm sure the value isn't going to show up here, as I paid, like I said, $1,800 for the box. But as far as for your entertainment, for vibes, for nostalgia, and to celebrate the release of Lowyn Eclipsed, I figured why not go back in time. If you enjoyed this, leave a comment. Maybe I'll do them in the future. Let me know. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Remember the sponsors of this channel, CoolStuffInc.com, promo code CGB5 over there, and Dragon Shield. Use the link in the description to support the channel when you shop on Dragon Shield, and use the promo code CGB5 over there. What do I say at the end? Oh yeah, you're cool.